JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 19th of January 2021. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Tuesday's afternoon session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, some of the charts that we looked at this morning and this week and then the previous week as well. So, but yeah. Basically, we'll see how the market is doing so far. Before we jump into the charts, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yeah, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. So, okay guys, now then jumping into the charts, the first one I want to pick up here is the German index, the DAX, and here basically the index traveled nicely to the upside today. This morning, if you remember, if you watched my video, I was telling you guys to keep an eye on this downside line drawn from the high of the 8th of January, and in a way, as long as it stays kind of below this, then yep, we will take a bit of a neutral stand. The reason is because I'm not saying that I'm leaning towards the downside here right now. No, because we are above the we're back above the 21-day EMA here, and basically this point here is just kind of a temporary pit stop here. So now the bulls and the bears are trying to fight it out and see who's going to take the control here. In a way, for me to get excited with the upside, I need to see that break of this downside line, and then I could go for some higher levels. But in order to consider the downside now, this morning I talked about this level right here, the 13,672 mark, but we could already start looking at some lower areas if we see a drop below the 13,795 level right here basically, and that area is the highest point of February of last year. So again, something for you to keep in mind, something to consider, but for now I'm just observing the price action here. Now jumping into Dow Jones Industrial Average, and yesterday the index, the markets, the US markets were closed. So the last candle that we have here is from last week's Friday. So basically it's going to be very interesting to see how today's trading session will go ahead. Again, there is a chance for this one to actually push higher. Looking at the cash index right now and where it's currently sitting at, we can see that the price is sitting near the 31,000 mark. So basically it's above Friday's close here. We're somewhere around here, and yep, now it's going to be interesting to see, can we actually go and overcome the all-time high, which is roughly around the 31,224 mark. So all eyes are on that. Something to keep in mind, of course, guys, that tomorrow the US President-elect Joe Biden is going to become is going to get inaugurated. So yep, keep your eyes on that, guys, and let's see how today's market is going to perform. Let's go kind of let's put it this way, the last trading day for under Trump, if we can call it this way. But yeah, let's see if the market actually rallies further, and yep, let's see how that's going to play out. For now, in order to consider the upside, guys, well, I would probably prefer to wait for a push above the all-time high, the current all-time high near the 31,224 level. In terms of the downside, I would need to see another drop here below this 30,793 territory. As you can see, although on Friday we did get a drop below it, still it acted as a fantastic area of support and didn't allow the index to close below it. So another strong area of support here. If that gets broken, if we get daily candle staying below it, then yep, we could go for a we could go lower here towards a possible test of this upside line drawn from the low the 12th of November. Now jumping into DXY, the dollar index, and it's drifting a little bit to the downside today. However, remains just kind of fractionally, or should I say, actually wouldn't say fractionally, but just bang on this upside line drawn from the low the 7th of January. So in a way, as I mentioned to you guys previously, that well, actually previously today, this morning, that for me to consider the downside, I would need to see maybe a drop somewhere below the 89.96 territory right here, and then I could go for some lower areas. But for now, as long if the price remains above this upside line, then there is a chance for this index to reverse and push higher, a little bit higher, of course, not much, because we still are trading below this downside resistance line drawn from the high of the 23rd of March, guys. So keep that in mind. Now jumping into silver very quickly. Silver did get a boost today, and it's pushing nicely to the upside. However, don't get me wrong, we are still trading below the 21-day EMA. So if the price continues to trade below that that EMA, then well, I'm still kind of leaning towards a possibility of seeing maybe a move lower here. However, if it pushes above the 21-day EMA and climbs above the 25.89 level right here marked by the high of last week, now that's where it could become a little bit more interesting for more buyers. So keep that in mind. If you're a little bit on the safe side, if you're a little bit cautious here with this commodity, then what you could do is just wait for a drop below the 24.35 level right here, because at the same time the price would be placed below the 100-day EMA here, and well, lower levels could be met. So keep that in mind. Now Ethereum, looking at this beautiful move here today, Ethereum is performing the best against its all the currencies basically, or all the cryptocurrencies. Ethereum is popping nicely, and most importantly, it managed to overcome the already the previous highest point of January near the 1,350 zone right here, and the crypto managed to reach this 1405 level. Now I talked about this level previously, and for that let me just kind of quickly jump into a daily chart, monthly chart. So you can see here, well, actually not this one, guys, and bear with me one moment. Let me just double check the weekly here. No, I think that's going to be on the daily chart. That's correct, but for this I'll have to kind of drag this one back down, back into history here. So okay, let's see if we can capture this now this way. Okay, so now that's the level that I was talking about. Basically, this one right here. Oh, let me just go back here. There we go. So this level here, the 1405, it's marked by the high of the 14th of January of 2018, guys. And as you can see, yes, although we did get an overshoot above that area, still the price is currently kind of balancing near that level. So again, now it's going to be very interesting to see if this can actually continue to provide resistance. If it can, then yep, a nice reversal here and back down could be possible. But if it cannot, and if we see that daily candle remaining above this 1405, then of course we'll continue aiming higher for that all-time high, which is roughly around the 1,595 level. So that's the all-time high here for this crypto. Let's see if we can reach that, but in order to consider that idea, I mean, I would need to see that daily candle staying above that 1405 territory. And to be honest, looking at this monthly chart here, I mean, you can see how far we have already traveled. Don't get me wrong, I mean, Bitcoin did overcome its all-time highs, previous all-time highs as well this year, but or actually last year. Yes, I mean, for now, all eyes are on this level here. I mean, can Ethereum do the same thing? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. But the way we could play this one out, for example, here is you can also keep an eye on this monthly candle, because if the monthly candle remains above this, somewhere above this 1405, then it has a chance to go further north. However, don't get me wrong, at some point we'll have to see a nice retracement. And if you remember, I've talked about this previously, that in a way, let's see how February goes ahead, because if we're going to see a similar scenario here as we did back in January here, back in January 2018, where, for example, in January 2018 was marked by a super high move here on Ethereum. We're having the same scenario this time. So let's see if February is going to be a downer here for Ethereum. But again, I'm just purely basing this on previous historic data here. So again, let's see how this is going to play out, guys. For now, everything's leaning a little bit more towards the upside, and it will be quite interesting to see if we can actually reach this 1595 territory. And to be honest, everything's possible, so be very careful if you are trying to short this one right now, because again, we might not be done with the upside. Now jumping into back into a daily chart and jumping into a few pairs. So AUD USD, something that I've picked up recently, and basically what I was talking about recently was that I was talking about this 0.7640 level right here, which, as you can see, that's the reason why I was talking about it, because that's the level for me to consider after a break of which I would consider some lower areas, because at the moment we are getting a hold of near this 21-day EMA. We're near this 21-day EMA, and now the big question here is, I mean, can it go lower? I mean, at the moment, I cannot really talk about that downside until we get that drop below the 0.7640. So far, the 21-day EMA, it's doing its job. It is doing its job, but we cannot really talk about the upside until we get a break, let's say, above this downside line here, drawn from the high of the 7th of January. And if we do get a nice pop above it, then yep, higher levels could be met. Jumping into USD JPY, here it's a little bit tricky here. So initially we saw USD JPY trying to make its way higher, but if you remember this morning I talked about this one and I was saying that wait, guys, wait on this one, because in order to aim for some higher levels, I need to see not only a break of this downside line, but also a push up of the 104.40 level right here. This way, the pair will confirm a forthcoming higher high, and yep, higher levels could be met. But at the moment, it's just kind of here, it's stuck here near this downside line, and even with the downside, I cannot really kind of get comfortable with the downside, although it is a downtrend here. Until I see a break back below the 103.65 territory. Ideally, I would like to see that daily candle remaining below this area, because at the same time the rate would be placed back below this 21-day EMA, and some traders might see this as a bearish indication. GBP NZD, so this one I've picked up recently on this one, and if you remember, I talked about this pair yesterday. For example, I was saying that keep your eyes on this downside line drawn from the high of the 21st of August, which, as you can see, so far continues to do its job. It's basically acting as that nice area of resistance. In order to aim for some higher levels, well, we need to see a break of this downside line, and maybe also, just for that extra confirmation, a push above the 100-day EMA here, shown as the green line. So far, it's stuck here. It's not really doing much. So for now, I'm just playing the waiting game here, and once I see a break here above this downside line, Then all eyes are on this 100-day EMA here, which is not far from that 1.92 level, and basically a nice good push above the 1.92 could open the door towards higher levels, maybe even going all the way here back to that psychological 2 level. But let's not rush into anything yet. First, let's see how it behaves near this downside line. And finally, EURUSD. So the pair is popping higher and it's breaking this downside line and it's pushing above the 1.2130 zone. So this is what I talked about this morning. However, also what I was saying, and I was saying this yesterday as well, that keep your eyes on the 21-day EMA, because although yes, everything's kind of looking quite nice here for EURUSD bulls, but in order to maybe get a little bit more excited with the upside, I would prefer to see maybe a nicer, stronger move above the 21-day EMA, and then I could go for some higher levels. Then, of course, all eyes are going to be on this 1.2210 territory, which if it gets broken, could open the door towards further upside. So something for you to keep in mind. For now, basically, I'll keep this downside line here, but I'll keep it for until tomorrow. Probably tomorrow I'll get rid of it, because still I'll come back to the same idea for the downside, that a drop below the 1.2059 here area right here, and if the daily candle stays below it, then yes, further declines here could, not further, but lower levels could be met. For now, it seems that the pair wants to move higher here, but it still has a bunch of obstacles to overcome. So for example, like the 21-day EMA here, and of course to stay above the 1.2130 level initially. So guys, I hope you found it useful. I'll have to wrap it up here. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to catch my video tomorrow morning, as always, my traders espressos, that's 7 o'clock GMT time. For now, guys, have a wonderful evening, stay safe, and I'll see you later. Thank you very much, and bye.